Next up at the DCS 2024 well, it's not an expo, we're calling it Focus on Post event. We have Shawn McDaniel and Derek Johnson, and they're going to tell us about everything that's new with Frame.io. We've been using Frame.io at DCS for a number of years. I think for the last 3 years we've covered all the trade shows that way. Christopher Nell does our editing. He stays here in Burbank while we run up to Las Vegas, and it's working out really well. And, these guys are going to tell us about everything that's new. Thank you.
Yeah, so a lot of you are probably very familiar with Frame.io. Just a quick raise of hands. Who is familiar with Frame.io? Lots of hands. I love it. Wonderful thing. Well, my name is Shawn. I'm a senior video evangelist at Adobe. And to my left here is Derek Johnson. And we're going to talk to you a little bit about Frame.io. There's a lot of new stuff that's come out recently. I'm sure you've all heard of Frame.io version 4. But we want to show you a little bit about version 4, but also I'm going to have Derek talk to you a little bit about Camera to Cloud. Because a lot of times we get this question of what is Frame.io, but a lot of you are very familiar with what Frame.io is. But there's a couple new things that you may not think of when you think of Frame.io. And Frame.io is the perfect production co-pilot. So when Frame.io first came out, I think it was like 2016, before we got acquired by Adobe back in 2021, was primarily a video tool. And that tool was there to do review and approval. It was there to make annotations and comments directly onto assets and share those with your creative team. A lot of that core is still there, but now it's opened it up to all types of different file types. Now you're able to upload your photos, your PDF documents, your Word documents, anything that you're working with in and out of a production. So what does that mean though? Well, that means now that we can open up that door to be a pre-production tool, a production tool, and now obviously it's been a post-production tool, but now even more of a post-production tool than it used to be. So I like to kind of follow these 4 points here. Is that it's an effortless setup and management tool. So setting up your Frame.io account, a lot of you probably already used it, but it's a very quick and easy setup, and it's a very fast way to add in your creative collaborators onto the account. So you can set up a project, be on board, get your team on board in just a matter of moments. And it's unified media access. So everyone on your creative team can tap into Frame.io, leave notes, comments, annotations on all types of different file types directly in one unified system. And how many times do we go to Dropbox, or we go to Box, or we go to Google Drive, or we have to go to all these different places to get our media? Why not just put it in one place and have all your creative team members in there as well? Also streamline your dailies and your editing process. With our integrations that we have with a lot of different tools. Obviously, Premiere, since we're Adobe, we have a tool in there so you can able to upload and download your sequences, connect your comments directly onto your timeline. We also have a slew of other integrations that are available on our current product, but then also very soon in Frame.io version 4. And then the last thing we're going to talk a little bit about is the C2C ecosystem, which I'm going to have Derek talk about in just a few minutes here. But that's the ability to use Camera to Cloud. And I'm sure a lot of you have heard of Camera to Cloud, have seen that process, but we're going to show you a live demo of that today. And it works across a slew of different cameras. It also works with a lot of your sound devices as well. So you can bring in, again, unifying all of your media into one cohesive space. But again, we're going to talk a little bit about Frame.io version 4. Unfortunately, we're not in beta anymore. We're out. It is out in the open, so I need to update my slide. But yes, Frame.io version 4 was fully released at Adobe Max just a few weeks ago. And I want to show you a little bit how it works. So if you've never seen it before, this is going to be relatively different. This is our projects page, which is called Workspace. And then here's where all of your different projects are going to be housed. And something that's really cool and I really love is that part of the point of setting up and getting your projects ready and easy fast, now you can go in under New Project. We've got something called Project Templates. So there's a whole list of project templates, and these are pre-made projects that you can choose from and start working with immediately. And since we're talking a little bit about pre-production, I'm going to pull up location scouting because this one's got some really cool things in there. Once I select on a template, it lets me know what metadata fields, what collections are, and whatnot will be included. But I'm going to keep that sample content because I want to show you how this kind of works. So let's just do location. Let's create that new project. boom, we're ready to go. Now I can add users into my workspace so they have access to all my projects, or I can go individually into my project and add them separately if I'd like. Once I drop in their email, I can then change what source level they're in or what access level they want to be able to, access certain media inside of this project. If they want to be able to edit and share, just edit those files, maybe just leave comments, or just want them to view it. We don't want them to do anything to it. So that's some options we have as far as our users go. But we are in a location-based project. You can see here, we've got a whole different view of how we could see all of our assets. In the top left, we've got kind of a browser window. As we add folders, they'll drop down like a folder tree, very similar to how we use on our computers. Below that, we have collections, and then we have shares below that. But to the right is where the bread and butter is, and that's where our assets are. But in a previous version, you used to have to actually click on an asset to go into it to view it. But now that we have something called panels, you're able to select on your asset, open up your panels. Now you can see your asset there on the right, but then you can open up your comments and see those all in one space. I can see all of my assets here, my media, and then my comments on the far right. And of course, I could still double click on it and go into the asset if I want to. But the one really cool thing I want to point out is all of these metadata tags. You can see here, if we're working on a particular production, let's say we're looking at this waterfall piece here. I'll show it nice and big because it's, I think these are all Firefly generated as well, kind of showing you how beautiful you can make all your different images. But down here below, I've got all these metadata tags. And if you choose this template, these specific tags will be included. So I can go in and I could say whether or not these permits are required, whether we've scouted this location or not, our location status, whether we're in production or we're still waiting to set it up to start production. And what's really nice is that I can toggle on and off all of these different tags right here on my project page. So I can, if there's certain ones I don't want to see, I could turn that on or off. But we're all creative people here. We don't always want to adhere to this kind of preset list. We want to be able to control how we want to organize our media. So that's why we gave the ability to create your own custom field. So I can go in here and I can go, this is, I don't know, let's say a different country. Let's say we want to do a single select, or I could do a multi-select, whatever I want. And I can drop in a name. So this is, let's say, Europe. If I can spell right, it's my first day. We can do Australia. How about that? And you can see the list can go on and on. I can add as many options as I'd like and then select those on my asset. So once that's created, though, what are you able to do with it? You've got all those metadata fields. You can obviously sort those. But what's really nice is that inside of collections, it'll really utilize that metadata. And now you can actually go in to a collection. You can adjust your fields based on the different tags you've selected. So let's say maybe maybe my producer wants to come in here and see when these dates are available for these different locations. I can actually group these by location and date available. And I could send this off as a share. So if I want to share this to somebody externally, they can leave comments or actually just interact with these assets separately. Or if my producer or my creative team are jumping in here, they'll be able to access this and go, okay, this is going to be available at this point, and they could see it nice and organized. And then, like I said, it's really easy to make a share. As again, we're making the system very easy to kind of create and do things. So, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to click that. Let's say I'm going to go script location. I can actually convert this to a share. Click on share on the bottom right, and now my share section on the bottom, I can see all of the shares that I've created. Those same organization settings are there because it's connected to that collection. But I could actually create my own share, net new, and let's just call this, locations, boom. Put is there a little house emoji I could throw in there? Why not? How about that? And I can also change my appearance, but the really nice thing is before in Frame.io, you used to have to go into your project, select those, create a new share, or actually go in and edit those. But now I can just grab a list of assets and I can just drag and drop them right into my link here. And then if I want to actually customize this a little more, I can add a header here at the top. I can edit that background image. So I can choose one from the list here. So I can put a little galaxy in there. And or I can actually upload my own image. So if there's actually a still from the film, or there's some art or media that was created, we can throw that in there and kind of create a customized experience. And again, shares are great because if you want to loop in somebody externally from the account, if you don't want to add them to Frame.io, shares are a really great way to make that magic happen. So you got all your same privacy settings, all your same link options available on the far right-hand side. You've got grid and real view, which is similar to review and presentation links for folks that are familiar with Frame.io, the previous version. And yeah, that's just kind of a quick look at Frame.io version 4. If you are a current Frame.io user, you can definitely upgrade if you'd like. But also, if you have questions, you can also chat with one of us at any point. But I do want to talk about camera to cloud because we do have a project kind of set up for that. And this is why I have my buddy Derek here to kind of talk a little bit about camera to cloud. Derek, go right ahead.
I guess who here has heard of camera to cloud? Anybody? Show of hands. Anybody implement it on any projects? A couple. But yeah, basically, camera to cloud is just a set of APIs on the back end to allow any type of device you're using that makes creative assets. It can send those straight into Frame.io. That could be a native integration, like built into the camera itself. We've got a lot of partners there, an open ecosystem. Some new announcements from like Leica, Nikon. It's built into Red, Panasonic, but say you don't have a native integration, that's something like this Teradek Prism I have here. And this basically just over SDI or HDMI gets the camera clip name and the time code from the camera itself and encodes a proxy in real time and uploads that into Frame. So, that could just get accessibility for people to start looking at your dailies sooner. You could do an offline and a relink to the OCF later, and it just kind of speeds up and opens up a lot of new workflows we didn't have access to previously. So I've got a Teradek Prism here. Right now this is connected to a Sclera bonded cellular modem. That's how I'm uploading that, but this could be hardwired into Ethernet or using guest Wi-Fi, things like that. You basically get an internet connection, get a signal from your camera, and you can start uploading. So I could go ahead and start that here. Maybe get a blue steel here from Shawn. Give us your best. Oh yeah, that's great. And what I like about the Teradek Prism and some of these other third-party encoders is they do what's called real-time uploading. So it used to be you'd record a clip, you'd hit cut, and then it would start uploading the frame. But this is actually uploading in small chunks as we're recording here. And I basically cut the camera, it'll wrap that up and finalize that upload, and that is really helpful for long form interviews, things like that. And as long as your internet speeds kind of keep up with your bit rate, you'll get something uploaded pretty quickly shortly after you cut the camera. So I'll go ahead and cut that, and let's see how good the cellular works for us.
So what's really nice is inside of Frame.io, once you actually created your connection, it'll automatically create this folder called Cloud Devices. As I navigate closer, or I navigate into that folder, it'll create a shoot day for me. And this is all, again, automatic. This happens the minute you set up your camera and you roll a take. As I go down deeper, it'll then break it out into what segment you're rolling with. So imagine if you have a set with multiple cameras, you have multiple people either shooting photos, you've got people doing video, you've got some folks doing audio, all those will be broken out into those individual segments. So since we're just doing video, we only have one folder here. And then as I go in deeper, I can then see the name of the actual device. Again, I can customize this. So again, if I'm working on a multi-camera shoot, camera A, camera B, camera C, or operator A, person 1, 2, and 3, and I can see all those different folders here with each different camera individually uploading. And we'll actually go into this file here, and he's been uploading some of those clips. We'll show you in real time here how easy and quickly those are just updating as he's kind of taking new takes as he's going along. So you can imagine if you're doing a shoot, or you're doing a long interview, or you're doing all kinds of different stuff. The minute you cut the camera and you're setting up something else, your files are uploading in the background, so they're available for your team. Which is great for your editors because they'll have access to those files immediately, and you can relink your OCF media at a later time. But what's really nice is that if you're on set, sometimes it's hard. You have everyone huddling around the monitors or trying to see what the shot looks like. We've got an iPad here because Frame.io works on iOS. And on the iPad, as the clips are coming in, they'll natively show up right inside of the iPad also. So you can start leaving comments, annotations. You can have all your different departments having access, even on your phone. You'll be able to see all those different files. And what's really nice, again, a lot of people have a question on security. Well, you authorize who you have access to those files. And if you have your permissions set correctly for your user, they're not going to be able to send those out or make copies of those. So your data is definitely secure as you're kind of having all these different fingers kind of messing around with all the different media. So we're really happy. Camera to Cloud has been an amazing tool for a lot of filmmakers. We're hoping a lot of you will take advantage of it. We just already did the demo, but I know Derek talked a little bit about kind of data solutions. Again, we do have the Scalera over there that allows you to have kind of bonded cellular across a bunch of different carriers. But you also got satellite services, and then if you're using a mobile hotspot, you could set that up as well. And one last thing I always like to throw out to folks, if you have a Creative Cloud account, you do get an included Frame.io plan with your Creative Cloud subscription. This is the all apps subscription, just to clarify. This gives you 2 users, 5 projects. You'll be able to send out your files to an unlimited amount of reviewers. You get 100 gigs of dedicated Frame.io storage. This is separate from any kind of Adobe storage you'll have, but the coolest thing is you'll have access to Camera to Cloud. So if you do have a system with us or you have an integration with your camera, take advantage of Camera to Cloud. See how quickly you can make it work for your workflow. And that is what we got here, Frame.io and Adobe.
Thank you, guys. That's wonderful. And I should also say, I want to get a copy of that so I can use it in the edit.
Yeah, of course. The blue steel.
We'll send you a review link you can
But
download.
Teradek now has the bonded cellular built right into a box this size, and that's what we use at NAB. It's really terrific. A lot of people had trouble with the Wi-Fi there, but not with bonded cellular. It works terrific. Thank you for the update, guys. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you all.
Thank you.